Chapter number 21 is about workplace diversity, democracy, subaltern management ideas. Now, the point is diversity exists what? See, diversity about diversification. Now, when we're talking about workforce diversity, we are basically talking about the similarities and the differences that are associated because the workplace is about people coming from different age, gender, ethnicity, physical disability, ability, race, sexual orientation. So when we are talking about an organization where people are working, so those people who are working in an organization on different designation may actually come from different groups. That can be age, that different age group, that different abilities, different mentality, different physical ability, different attitude. So that is why the workplace itself is a arena of a diversified people. Now, when we are talking about an workforce of an organization, it has been divided into two groups: primary dimensions or the secondary dimension. Primary dimensions are very core to a person. Primary dimension like age, your gender, physical and mental abilities, they are something which cannot be changed. So even if you are working in organization or A or B, these are your inborn element. These are the very interdependent, and these are going to exert an influence over your image, over your communication, over a lot of things, because you were born with that. And there are certain secondary dimensions. Secondary dimensions are which have been given to you by the society, like your religion belief, your education, your training, your relationship status, the custom, the kind of communication that you do. That is your secondary dimension. Now, when we are talking about the understanding of the diversification of the workforce diversity, this is something which is primary dimension. We just cannot change it. This is that we have got from the society. With the time, we develop them. Now, diversity and inclusion means what? When we are talking about diversity and inclusion, we are basically saying that please offer everything in equal amount to everyone, and everybody should have accessibility towards it, and every employee is getting the same opportunity, and they are not getting discriminated on any of the ground. So you are basically saying that a kind of environment where the words like collaboration, supportive, respect exist, and all the employees are contributing and participating in that environment equally. That is the basic meaning of diversity and inclusion. Diversity and inclusion are actually two sides of the same coin. So that is why we say that they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand because inclusion should be part of the diversity. When you are making your organizational policy regarding the recruitment, promotion, changes, etc., okay, that inclusion should always be there. See, diversity training is actually part of the organizational work. When you need to make or sensitize your employee towards the different diversities or different differences that exist in the market and how to use them for the benefit of the organization. Now, those organizations who understand their diversity and try to opportunity, try to capitalize that, are actually doing what? They are trying to managing their diversity to solve the conflict rather than creating the conflict. Then they are also understanding that when their workforce is actually from the diverse background, you can use them more effectively or in an effective manner if you understand what kind of diversity exists in the market, and I mean in employees, and how to utilize those sensitivities and expectation. Organizational workforce and specifically the diverse workforce is basically giving you a better idea about the product and services, even the requirement of the market. Now, when we are talking about, as I told you in the last chapter also, when we are talking about the market, we are basically talking about a global market. Now, global market means people from different culture, different age, different gender, who are either coming together or they are part of the market, they are working together, so their cultural practices are quite different. That is why you need to understand them as an organization, how to be successful. Now, what kind of contributors are there which actually creates the diverse workforce? मतलब किन वजहों से the society becomes too diverse in certain point of views. So सबसे पहला होता है the societies is diversified on the basis of SCs, STs and OBCs, that I am not going to read because you have to do it, because of the certain traumatic incidents in the life of a someone, the physical disabilities arises, or sometimes they are born with that, which makes them little different for the organization. Ex defense personnel, they are also work part of workforce diversity. Displaced person, who may have been displaced from their origin or from their original place to which they belong, because of any natural calamity, because of any national calamity. Female employees, that is also part of the workforce diversity. Now, what kind of drawbacks are there when you have such a diverse uh, workforce in an organization? Problematic gender relation. When women and men are working together under one roof, the gender become actually a use to exploit the opposite one, which happens in organization. Cultural differences, the cultural backgrounded, when you do not accept other person cultural, maybe their dialect, maybe their language, that also happens in organization because of the diversity that they face. Then the communication problem. See, communication problem mostly exists in the organization because India may, the people have dialect, I mean different dialects in every village, in every state. Now, because of those dialect, those language, those mother tongue, sometimes you are not communicate with the other party. Then the concept of mistrust, which is very popular among the human beings, because humans do not trust each other, specifically when they belong to different region, when belong to different religion. They may trust when they are from different region and different religion, but vice versa is not possible. Then because of those, when you give discriminatory treatment, because you do not consider that person to be part of your group. Now, it can be because someone's color is different, maybe someone's nationality is different, maybe someone's language is different, that discriminatory treatment is there. Sometimes workforce diversity leads to resistance and change. When those groups are actually not ready to understand or adapt the differences or the changes that may have been brought by the management. Now, management of diversity. Now, if your workforce is of such a diverse nature, then as a manager, it becomes your work to manage those diversified people. Now, मैनेजमेंट ऑफ डाइवर्सिटी के लिए गाइडलाइंस क्या हो सकती है? सबसे पहले टॉप मैनेजमेंट शुड हैव अ क्लियर कट गाइडलाइंस और द क्लियर कट रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन that how they are going to manage the workforce diversity. Their vision, their mission, their policy statement, and their organizational practices should incorporate the diversity concept also. Now, your employment policy, when you are trying to implement the organizational workforce diversity policy, you make sure that you are also fine tuning your existing hiring and promotional policies, how you are going to hire the people, how you are going to give promotion to the people, how you are including the concept of diversity in that. It is very important. Then creation of the support group. See, support groups are basically those people who are around you working in an organization, but at the same time they understand your ideology and they support your ideology also. So that support group is also required. Okay. Now, in an organization, if female employees are working, that they need support group for their child care, for their job sharing. Sometime you need support care for the physical group, handicap people also. So it also depends upon the organizational needs कि किस तरह के support group की ज़रूरत है. Now, in an organization, the HR department is supposed to conduct the diversity training programs also, because ultimately he or she needs to understand that it's very important to develop the behavioral skills of the people, to develop the tolerance or to sensitize them towards the other human beings also. And diversity monitoring mechanism भी होना चाहिए. There can be periodical report about the submission by the maybe senior manager or maybe other manager, having an in-depth analysis of the diversity introduced in the organization, how people are adapting to it, how it has been beneficial for the organization. These kind of reports actually help you to understand that diversity itself is not a bad thing. Now comes the word democracy. See, what exactly is a democracy is? See, democracy is basically a form of government where we say that everybody is part of the society and everybody is there to share. Democracy, when we are saying that there is a government in the country which is for the people, of the people and by the people. तो लोगों के लिए है, लोगों की वजह से है, लोगों के द्वारा चुनी गई है. This is the basic word of the democracy. Now when we are talking about organization, what exactly is organization में democracy? So organization में डेमोक्रेसी इज़ बेसिकली और कॉर्पोरेट डेमोक्रेसी, जिसे हम इंडस्ट्रियल और वर्क प्लेस डेमोक्रेसी भी कहते हैं, वेयर यू आर सेइंग दैट यू हैव अ डेमोक्रेटिक काइंड ऑफ अ रिलेशनशिप व्हेन यू आर रनिंग द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, व्हेन यू आर सेइंग दैट इट्स नॉट ओनली टॉप लेवल मैनेजर हु इज participative, there are employees also who are participative in the decision making. There are certain representative of the employees who becomes or who wholeheartedly participate in the organizational goals achievement. Now the point is, when we are talking about the industrial workplace democracy, हम क्या कहना चाहते हैं? What we are saying is that, see, every industry or workplace is quite different when we are talking about its size, its culture or other variable. So it's very simple that involve your people or involve your employee in the decision making to have that democratic impact. Give them the voting right, give them the right to question, give them the right to have debate or maybe consultation, so that they can be a constructive part of the decision making. And also ask about their opinion, also respect their opinion when you are taking the final decision.